going to call to order the April 23rd, 2026 O'Fallon City Council Workshop to order. Roll call, Katie.
Mayor Hennessy.
Present.
Councilmember Wexler.
Present.
Councilmember Roth.
Present.
Councilmember Boyer.
Present.
Councilmember Thompson.
Present.
Councilmember Costello.
Present.
Councilmember Kewen.
Excused.
Councilmember Taylor.
Present.
Councilmember Cook.
Present.
Councilmember Ragsdale.
Excused. Folks, you have an agenda in front of you. What's pleasure?
Motion to approve.
Second, Casco.
Motion by Councilwoman Cook, second by Councilman Costello. Questions? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Anything on the agenda you folks want to talk about? Amanda?
Yeah, I had some questions about the agenda. First, why do we do this adjourn, send, is it sign?
Sign die.
Sign die, yeah.
Why? So we do old business from the old council, pass everything that this old council does, then we motion, sign die, and swear in the newly elected officials, then go into new business.
That's kind of why it stood out, because I was at the Wentzville. My friend was getting sworn in last night, and I was looking at theirs, and it was done differently, like they just took a break for 15 minutes between. So that's why I was wondering.
It's a break.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's that lawyer talk is what it is. So it's lawyer talk
So
to
why do we
basically take a
choose
break.
it? Why do we choose it?
It's symbolic of that we're beginning with a whole new council. So the old council with the prior members, they and I pronounce it Sine Die. I'm sorry.
How is it?
I pronounce it Sine Die. But so when you adjourn Sine Die, it is saying that the old council now ceases to exist, and now there's going to be a new council. And that's why any old business under the prior council is taken care of, and then, so the new council, as it exists then as of tonight, will take all the new business.
So we're basically having like two meetings in one.
Essentially, yes.
Basically.
So, and that, I mean,
Because you really don't want the new council voting on old business.
why? See, that's why I was wondering.
Why?
Yeah.
Because they haven't been sworn in to do it. So, this council has had old business 2 weeks ago. It's their choice it's their time to vote on those things. So you don't put new stuff on the council that they don't know anything about.
So, yeah, that's what I was like wondering how we did it before, and we used to do it the other way. We used to
No, ma'am.
start in 2023. I even went back and saw they had like special meetings before that was swearing in, right? Yeah.
That was in between, that we'd already done old businesses, usually the third Thursday we did it? So they had already done their old business. So basically it was just a swearing in, and basically that was it.
Okay,
Okay?
yeah, thanks.
Anybody else? Seeing none, I'd like to have a motion second to approve the City Council Workshop meeting minutes of April 9th.
So move, Wexler. Second, Casco.
Motion by Councilman Wexler, second by Costello. Questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Next is strategic plan goal, fiscal impact analysis for new developments. Mr. Woods.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor and Council. Good evening. Wade and I are going to kind of break this up a little bit, but this is a topic that's come up here recently. There were some questions. We've been including these fiscal impacts in our new development reviews and in our packets. It's a thing that the city staff has started a few years back, and I was just here to kind of talk through it and kind of show you how we put these together, as there are some questions that's been coming up recently. So I'll kind of tell you about the background and some introductory comments, and then Wade's going to get into more of the number part of it. But it's pretty simple in theory. It's supposed to be. We're really trying to put numbers to what we're seeing as far as new developments and coming into the city. New developments bring in revenues with the taxes, and there's expenses with the infrastructure and the maintenance, personnel, and those things that are things that we can quantify, we believe, with this report that we put together. And we try to make it easy. I've seen these around the country, and they get really thorough and complicated, and a lot of math that I try not to get involved with. Being a planner, I don't do math very well. But we've tried to put this together in a way that, we try to make it easy for us to go in and input our information on what we're seeing, because we're getting new developments every month, and we're wanting to kind of keep this as a tool that could be used by the city. This was in our strategic plan from a few years back, and like I said, we've been doing it. This first came up, the city staff didn't do it, but back in 2021, Harvest. There was a new subdivision way on the west side of town. There was questions about the road and the infrastructure, what that was going to cost the city. So it was a comment we had with the developer, hey, we would like you to do this analysis and to see, what the roads are going to be, how long the roads are, how many lane miles there were. And they put this, we had a consultant, PGAV, they did our comprehensive plan. And this was paid for by McBride. It was a condition. And we got that report. And once we saw that, we kind of spent some time. It's like, okay, we kind of use that as a starting point rather than paying a third party to do this or having a contract. The staff at the time thought we could kind of go back and use that as a template and create our own tool. So that's what we have, and that's what we've been using. We do tweak it as things change, but it's something I think we've got a good tool here. And the numbers we put on it are in it. It changes depending on the development, but it's a good Excel. It's a working document. I've kind of touched on this, but we think it's pretty simple. It's got just fillable forms that we put numbers in it. It's got mathematics on the back end that kind of make that all work. And I think that's the big question on where we get those numbers, and we'll kind of get into that. But the whole point is, just on that second bullet point, to see, how much money is generated per dollar spent by the city in maintenance. This is not a make or break thing. This is really just a tool to use, a reference. We don't base our recommendations on this. It's just something that's a added bit of information that, I think it's important, but it's not a end-all be-all item. And this is all estimates. A lot of this stuff looks into the future. Costs change, taxes change. So a lot of the numbers, they can be tweaked, and little changes in the numbers have big impacts over the years. But nothing in here I would say is 100%. And actually, more times than not, we kind of rule on the side of being more cautious, or we don't really, what's the word, Wade? More conservative. We're trying to do conservative numbers. Some of the things we plug into our analysis, the number of acres, kind of see how that's working in the development. That changes depending on what we're talking about. We have factors, inflation, but as you can see in that last bullet point, we're using numbers that are in the National Consumer Price Index. We're not making up these numbers as far as the escalation percentages. This is what we're seeing in the area and in the country. And ours is actually conservative too. And here's some factors. Those are pretty self-explanatory. I think the one I was wanting to kind of talk about is this one here, percentage capture. That is something, there's really not a good way to pinpoint that number, but what that's saying is, how much is a new development using city services as far as the retail businesses, let's say. We had a new development on Mexico Road close to Highway K. We believe, as a staff, it's nothing scientific, but we believe those homes are going to be going to O'Fallon businesses more than likely. There's a Walmart close. Their percentage of capture using city retail businesses would be higher there because they're going to be spending their money on O'Fallon businesses, paying O'Fallon's sales taxes. So we think that's capture there is higher than other areas in town, off of Highway N, for example, where there's really no commercial property out there. The percentage capture out there is a lot less. Down at K&N, that could be almost 100% capture. There's all the uses right there. But that's, like I said, I know people that live in O'Fallon, work in the city, they do all their shopping there. Maybe they don't even shop in O'Fallon. It's like I said, it's an estimate, but we do feel strongly that, we're using all the conservative parts. We're not overestimating that. We're conservative. Estimated personal property, we're using, census data on all this, on the household income. We're not making that up. A lot of that is based upon the sale of the home. We believe a family needs to make so much money to pay for a certain priced house, and those are some of the numbers we have in the background that kind of fills in some of those blanks. Estimated online spending, we have that as a very small amount, like less than $1,000 on that. So it's all very conservative on that part of it. And I think from there, this is where we get into the infrastructure, and that's where I was going to let Wade talk about this. Over 40 years, I can't do that.
Thanks, Dave. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Thanks for allowing me to speak tonight. As David said, there's a lot of estimates in this sheet. No one single element controls the whole sheet. So they all spread out, they all factor in, but there's no dominant factor, let's say, as much as any one item might change just a little bit. So regarding items used in analyzing the city costs, the big item is the city infrastructure. That is the main cost to the city. Streets, as we know, are very expensive. We discuss streets quite often up here. It's quite amazing that a 15 by 20 slab costs almost $2,000 to replace, and there's many slabs in every subdivision. So streets are our main quantity as far as city expense, and then you get into storm sewers and structures. And I'll get into that a little bit more. So I wanted to spend a little bit of time on streets because it seems like that's where some of the questions come up, and maybe different views on the streets come into play. So we use a 40-year lifespan on our streets. We know we were stuck with some bad rock, that our streets aren't lasting that long currently. But newer developments, I believe Post Farm was actually the first one that we used a thicker concrete. It's on the rock, better materials, and we hope for 50 years on those streets. But right now we still have all the old streets, and some of them are deteriorating quicker due to the rock. So sometimes people say, hey, your streets don't dissolve at 40 years and that's it. And that's correct. Streets don't dissolve right at 40 years where we have to replace. Typically a street, we will maintain those streets over the 40 years. 5 years out, we'll start crack seal. 10 years, another joint seal. 15 years. So there's work being done. Maybe 10 years, you start seeing some potholes. So street department has to maintain those. Maybe 20 years, they have to go in and do a joint repair, right? The partial depth repair. Maybe they start to replace a few slabs at 20 years and 25 years. 30 years, maybe we come in there and do a much more significant repair. In 35 years, maybe again. So heck, we may replace a slab twice in those 40 years. And then there's also slabs that are going to last, right? They're going to last more than 40 years. They might get out there to 50 years or 55 years. So it's not an exact science, and I don't want to come up here and pretend that it is. But what we attempt to do is use the life cycle cost at 40 years and then amortize that over time so that you apply a cost really every year to that. Again, at 40 years, you don't have to replace the whole street. I've heard different ways of doing this, and I've heard some people say, well, we really don't spend that much money and replace all of our streets at 40 years. They will run the calcs based on what we actually spend. I think that is the incorrect way to do it, and I'll give you an example. Numerous years ago, we only spent $1 million a year. So if you took that $1 million based on our lane miles, you would come up with $1,300 we would spend per lane mile. So if you take that cost and let's say a subdivision comes in that has 0.2 lane miles, essentially that would be $270 a year they would provide in theory so that you could replace that street at the end of 40 years. $270 a year for 40 years will replace about 6 slabs. With inflation, probably about 4 slabs. So I don't believe that is the correct way to analyze the streets. Another example is if the city budgeted $0 to maintain your streets. Based on that analogy, you would say, we don't spend any money on streets. We don't have to maintain them. Of course, we would all be driving on rock, right? So we based our analogy based on life cycle costs of the streets, and I hope that provides you with a little more information when we discuss streets. With that, what else? I've learned we don't include in our calcs sidewalks or paths, so shame on us. There's a cost to that, and we need to account for that. So when David says we're conservative, I believe we are. We haven't even accounted for those costs yet. We also don't account for auxiliary roadways that magically become ours, right? The county has a way of when properties come in and they're on both sides of the road, they say, yep, that road is yours, right? We have some disagreements on that. Maybe sometimes we've won those fights over the years. Sometimes we've lost. But we picked up a lot of lane miles over the years just based on roads becoming ours. So, again, that's not factored into this cost. Sewer, water, those are enterprise funds. They charge rates, as does environmental services. So we don't account for those. We don't factor those in. The rates they charge make up for their costs. So those items aren't factored into this and shouldn't be. Getting into the lane miles of pavement, I think I kind of hammered on that. So hope everybody got a good idea on that. Storm sewers, again, we do factor those. Those come in with the roadways. That's part of something we have to maintain. So we factor in pipes, box culverts. In some cases, we have bridges, right? Yeah, I already mentioned the water and sewer. So city personnel, that really varies by development. Really, we look at police officers and we look at code enforcement officers. And really, that's a very, very minor cost. Harvest might have had a half police officer and a half code enforcement officer just based on the size. But most developments, it's not even a factor because we're not going to bring on a police officer. I'll relate to a Phoenix development. We didn't include anything because we're not bringing on a police officer for 30 homes. So. Factors we consider, revenue, and probably the big, there's a lot of different factors, but the biggest generator of revenue is our property tax and our sales tax. So the property tax, obviously, with any home, you have personal property tax, you have property tax, and then those residents out spending their money generate sales tax. So we factor those into the equation. Residential rates, it's 19% assessed, so whatever that value is of that lot and home, it's assessed at a 19% rate, and then a percentage of that is used to factor your property tax. Commercial, it's a higher rate, so commercial development, you'll generate more property tax based off that commercial development. As far as sales tax, there's a 1% sales tax on all the sales in the city that goes to general fund. 0.5% sales tax in the city that goes to parks and stormwater, and a 0.5% sales tax that goes to Street Road Improvement Fund, SRIF, if you hear me refer to that. So that's our big, basically revenue generators in the city. Commercial properties, when a commercial property comes in, we factor into what sales tax they're going to generate. Small businesses and strip malls aren't near as the generators that a Walmart or a Sam's or a Costco. Those are wonderful developments if you can get them. They generate a lot of revenue for the city that allows us to do a lot of things. The other benefit is not a lot of infrastructure. It's private drives, it's private parking lots, it's private storm sewers. So when you see the numbers closer to the end, you'll see those are more of the positive developments. Apartments, whatever anyone's opinion is on apartments, again, those are property tax generators. Those are sales tax generators with those residents out buying our products. And we don't have the roadways, we don't have the storm sewer. So in general, when you look at this, those look to be on the positive side. Sales tax, yep, we already went over that. The use tax, this has been a huge difference in our ability to maintain our streets. Again, as referenced, a few years ago, we were $1 million and $2 million. Now we're $5 and $6 million, and a lot of this is due to the use tax. So it's a tax on out-of-state vendors, mainly on businesses that purchase a lot of products. Really, it doesn't really affect residents very much. If they have a business already in the area or believe in the state, you don't even pay that. So it really is a big revenue generator that is split then between police department and SRIF, and it's been allowed us to do a lot of things as well as the police department. So I'll say it every time, we can't thank the residents enough for passing that. Didn't mention it, but there's also a little miscellaneous, I think, expenses we put on there. We have some taxes that are assessed with each bill that utilities charge. So there's little miscellaneous revenues as well that we account for. So with that, at the end of the report, you'll look and it's annual cost versus revenue. We compare the amounts, and either it's red, which is it exceeds what we're going to spend, or it's green, which means every dollar we spend, we're actually going to get back a little bit more. So, and again, it's we do it over the cost of a lifetime. 40 years is what we use. And then that's our little summary sheet. We have our initial contribution. There are some developments that will contribute per lot. So we take that into account if there is one. Average annual net revenue. So these are the different sources, the revenue that creates. And then also the lifespan revenue. So when it's spread out over 40 years, it gives us the revenue and then versus the cost. And it provides that projection as to either green that you're coming out in theory ahead, or red that you're coming out in the negative category. With that, I'll turn it over to David, who will kind of go over, I think he prepared some of these for another presentation. So David can go over kind of the analysis for these different developments.
Yeah, this might look familiar. When I did a presentation a few months ago for the moratorium, I actually had a couple of these slides in here. But I think this just kind of shows it. And I think the key is just the infrastructure. With multifamily, like we just talked about, the city's not maintaining the streets, and I think that's the big thing. And that you'll see that in these numbers with these multifamily. Avenue 64, this is down at Weldon Springs and Technology. It's a really big, nice multifamily development. With the rents they're paying and the income that we see for the people who live in that kind of rent rate, we believe that's the number that's being generated and the city doesn't have to spend much. I think we have police services, and that's probably about it. We're not maintaining much there. You can see Preserve at Research Park right across the street, same kind of situation. It's not as new as an apartment complex, so the rents are lower, and that's why that number is lower. Southern side subsidized, but it's still the city's not maintaining anything there. We maintain the road, Crusher out there, but still, it's not an internal subdivision street. And single family. We've had a few here come through. This Phoenix Winghaven just approved. That had a short street, not much street there. Had quite a few lots, 30 lots. The houses are very expensive, and so they're paying a large property tax. So that subdivision there with the big lots, small street, and expensive homes, it was in the green. So we're going to be spending less on that than being spent. Caballo Farms, and plus I think another factor on that was it's in the middle of Winghaven, where there's businesses and things in the city close to that. Caballo, this is one we're just dealing with currently. And then Strawberry Farms, this is under construction. That's close. That's one of the closest ones I've seen to being, break even. That's for single family. That's one of the best ones I've seen. It's close to the city, center at Mexico and Highway K. It's expensive homes, smaller lots, so there's quite a few units in there that are going to be paying property tax. And this is a slide I had before, but I think I just wanted to do it again because I think it kind of just tells the story that we're on what this information is kind of saying. The property in green, that's rental. We're not maintaining that. You can kind of see that's in the green. For every dollar we're spending, we're getting $1.14, we believe, in taxes, sales tax, all of it together, use tax. And in the same area across Highway P, we're maintaining that street, and that changes the numbers. And this is another example, same situation. We're maintaining, in the red, that's a public street, we're maintaining that. Green, we're not maintaining that parking lot. So that changes, that's what's changing those numbers there. So I think we've kind of said all this, but Wade, do you want to kind of wrap that up a little bit?
Thanks, David. Just real quick, and you probably heard David and I both, but public infrastructure is the main cost. In fact, it's 100% of the cost in a lot of these cases. Again, police and code enforcement might be a very, very half of a percentage cost, right? And since I do come from engineering and the roadway side, the majority of the revenues, in the case of the Phoenix development, 80% goes to general funds. About 11% is realized through the Street Road Improvement Fund. So again, when we wonder how it's difficult to maintain our streets, that's some of the reason why. But again, this is a tool. It's used to help evaluate different developments and where things might stand for your use. And if you have questions, David and I are here. So,
Questions? Amanda?
What did you say it costs per slab to replace?
about $1,800 per slab.
1,800? And how many slabs you say in like a mile?
Oof, a lot. I'd have to get you
I
that.
was just, okay, no, I was just
Yep,
curious,
yep.
yeah. One of the things, and you had showed it, and I had even printed it out, you had showed this contribution from the developer. Do we ever receive this?
We do, yes, ma'am.
And how is that determined when we do that?
A lot through negotiations and the impact, and maybe there's an immediate adjacent intersection that they need to improve, but maybe there's one up the road that it's adding capacity. We know it's going to be improved, so in that case, we may say, hey, negotiate with them to get a contribution so that we can use later to, or maybe it's the road out front that we know we're going to have to improve at some point. So again, it's a.
Do we ever
Side by
have
side.
them contribute from the developer to negate some of these losses that we have?
That would be that case when they provide a contribution.
And that's just through negotiations then? I mean, because that's one thing, and I have seen in other cities do, they have like transportation fund or make, developers pay for, instead of the city carrying that burden and the taxpayers, they make the developers say, this is the financial law. What I was looking at, what is this, the Caballo one, $7 million financial loss over 40 years that we can, require developers to pay that.
Yeah, I think, I believe Harvest is, and Caballo might be as well. So some cases, we have pretty good luck getting that, so.
Oh, they do? Because they're here it had it blank on the Caballo one. So
Okay.
then maybe not for that one.
Maybe not.
Okay. Yeah, that's my question.
Okay. And as part of the strategic plan, we are coming to council when we get to that point with different ideas how we can, as the council requested, increase our funding $1 million per year for road repair. So that might be one of the options that we bring forward. So
Did it? Mr. Boyer?
I don't know if we want to do this today, but I would like to go through the spreadsheet, and I like the numbers, and I'd like to see kind of the details of what the assumptions are, and just get to play around with if it's a spreadsheet, let me look at the formulas and kind of see what that is.
Definitely, yeah, we'd be here all night if we, I mean, this is a crazy, thick, detailed spreadsheet, but yes, sir, yeah, we'd be happy to sit down with you and look at that, so.
Yeah, you math wizards can do that. Mr. Wexler?
Thank you, Mayor. Councilmember Cascella and I just did some real quick dirty math here. If the pads are 20 feet long, there's 528 pads in a mile.
Okay. And they're usually about 15 by 26, so.
Oh, there we go. So there's probably less then, right? Or more, there would be more, 15, yeah. So anyways, that's all I got, thanks.
Who did math? Anybody else? Thanks, gentlemen.
Thank you all.
Any other items for consideration? Seeing none, I'd like to have a motion to go to closed session, 610-0211. Legal actions, cause of action, or litigation involving public governmental body and any confidential or privileged communication between a public governmental body or its representative and its illustrious attorney. 610-0212, leasing, purchasing, or sale of real estate. And 610-0212, sealed bids and related documents until the bids are opened, and sealed proposal related documents or any documents related to a negotiated contract until a contract is executed or all proposals are rejected.
So moved, Cascola.
Second, Wexler.
Motion by Councilman Cascella, second by Councilman Wexler. Roll call. Katie?
Councilmember Cook? Councilmember Wexler?
Yes.
Councilmember Taylor?
Yes.
Councilmember Cascella? Yes. Councilmember Roth?
Yes.
Councilmember Thompson?
Yes.
Councilmember Boyer?
Yes.
All right, we'll be up. We'll be up in the community room at 6:15. One call to order the April 23rd, 2026 O'Fallon City Council meeting to order. Roll call. Bess?
Mayor Hennessy.
Present.
Councilmember Wexler.
Present.
Councilmember Roth.
Present.
Councilmember Boyer.
Present.
Councilmember Thompson.
Present.
Councilmember Cascella.
Present.
Councilmember Kewen.
He's excused.
Councilmember Taylor.
Present.
Councilmember Cook.
Present.
Councilmember Ragsdale.
Present.
All right, if everyone would please stand for the invocation by Police Chaplain Randall Lee and pastor at Lighthouse Church, Troy campus, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance led by Councilmember Cook.
Let us bow our heads and pray tonight. Lord, we thank you for this opportunity as we come before you this evening in a setting such as this. Lord, we thank you for the freedoms that we have to be in meetings like this tonight. We just ask that as this meeting goes forward, Lord, that you would direct it, you would guide it. Lord, you see every item on the agenda, and we just ask that you would give this council and these leaders wisdom and knowledge, Lord, to move forward, and that as decisions are made, Lord, that it would be made appropriately for the betterment of our community. We just ask that you would continue to bless the city of O'Fallon, that you would bless every police officer, every firefighter, keep your hand of protection upon them, every employee, Lord, that works to make this city a great city. And we thank you for all the things that you've done, all the things that you're doing, and all the things you're going to continue to do. And we ask it in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Folks, you have an agenda in front of you. What's the pleasure?
Motion to approve Ragsdale.
Second, Wexler.
Motion by Councilman Ragsdale, second by Councilman Wexler. Questions or comments? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. First thing on the presiding officer's report, we have a Heritage and Freedom Fest announcement. Jennifer?
It's hard to believe it's that time already, but good evening. So I am here to discuss a little bit about the Heritage and Freedom Fest. Just wanted to review a little bit of information before we get into the big announcement. This year's dates are July 1st through the 4th. July 1st will be considered our carnival night, and that will be the only piece of the festival that will be going that evening. Then on July 2nd, we will open up to our traditional family night, and both of those days are from 4 until 10 p.m. And then on July 3rd will be our country night, which you will find out who those artists will be here shortly. And that will be from 4 until 11 p.m. Then July 4th, that morning, 9:30 will be our parade. Those parade applications are open until June 5th. And it is a milestone in the making. That is the theme this year, which is also our National America 250 theme. And then our rock evening will wrap everything up. We will open up festival grounds at noon, and we will go until 10 o'clock that evening. We do have some exciting pieces coming on Entertainment Alley and a surprise in our parade this year. So with that, unless there's any questions, I will go ahead and let communications work their magic and present the amazing video that they have put together for us tonight.
It's America's. You're invited with delicious food, street, and the most colorful parade in the area. O'Fallon's Heritage and Freedom Fest celebrates like no one else. And every year, some of the biggest country and rock musical acts in the industry join the party with us, bringing their own kind of fireworks to the stage. Now it's time for the big reveal of our Country Night and Rock Night headlines, the soundtrack to the best birthday party in the St. Charles region, Heritage and Freedom Fest. With their stirring harmonies and high-energy anthems, Locals co-headlines our Country Night on July 3rd, making our hometown home for the night. Then our Country Night co-headliner Lauren Elena keeps the party going. This Georgia-born vocal powerhouse will have everyone rejoicing. She traveled this road to O'Fallon, Missouri. And on July 4th, the legendary band who redefined the state of American progressive rock, Kansas, takes the main stage. Dust in the wind, all we are is dust. They've been carrying on for more than 50 years of chart toppers and amazing live performances. Experience the magical harmonies and electrifying melodies of Kansas on the main stage of Heritage and Freedom Fest on July 4th. 4 nights of food and rides, 2 nights of spectacular fireworks, and free concerts by country stars Locash and Lauren Elena and rock legend Kansas. Owned at O'Fallon, Missouri's Heritage and Freedom Fest.
she go? Oh, there you are. Great job, Jennifer. All right, next on the presiding officer report, we're going to recognize some retiring councilman, Mr. Roth. If you want to come join me down here, please. Right here, sir. John, I want to thank you and a grateful appreciation for your outstanding dedicated service to the residents and the city staff of the great city of O'Fallon, Missouri. Thank you from myself, the city council, and city staff. Councilmember Ward 1, January 2025 to April 26. John, thank you for your service to the great city of O'Fallon, Ward 1.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll say an award report.
Okay.
Ms. Thompson? Ms. Lisa, we want to thank you and a grateful appreciation for your outstanding dedicated service to the residents and city staff from Ward 2. Thank you for myself, the city council, and the city staff. Councilmember Ward 2 from June of 2020 to April of 2026. Lisa, thank you for your service to the Ward 2 residents.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Ragsdale? Linda, and grateful appreciation for your outstanding dedicated service to the residents of Ward 5 and the city staff of the city of O'Fallon. Thank you from myself, the city council, and the city staff. Councilmember Ward 5 from April 2023 to April of 2026. Linda, thank you for your service to the great city of O'Fallon.
So, Mayor, you knew that I was not going to get away without getting my last 2 cents worth. So, thank you. So, first of all, I want to thank the Lord for placing me in what I thought was the right place at the right time. I'm also very deeply grateful for my dad. If it weren't for him, with my demanding schedule, I would not have been able to do this for the last 3 years. So his support has meant everything to me. I'm just so grateful. City staff, I want to extend a sincere thank you to all of you. You've worked with 10 very different personalities up here, and you all have done so with remarkable grace, professionalism, and patience. And let me tell you, that does not go unnoticed. To my fellow council members, the mayor and city attorney, Stephanie this evening, usually Kevin, but both of you, while we have not always seen eye to eye, it has truly been a pleasure to work alongside each and every one of you. Healthy debate is what has kept us sharp and ultimately better in our roles. 3 years ago, I stood here and took the oath of office, and I made a commitment to serve as a servant leader and always putting the residents of O'Fallon first. I know that not everyone always agreed with every decision I made, but that's part of public service. We don't always agree with our elected officials on every issue, nor should we. But I can say with confidence that every vote that I took was guided by what I believe was in the best interest of our residents. It has been both an honor and a privilege to serve the people of Ward 5 and the entire O'Fallon community. Many of you have asked, what's next for me? I've even heard that a couple of times tonight already. I trust that God has a plan for me, but right now, my plan is to focus on my career, continue with my education as I pursue my MBA, and most importantly, I look forward to spending more time with my dad. I want to congratulate the newly elected council members, and especially Mr. Palmer. I wish you all the very best in this role. As you take on this responsibility, though, I do offer one final thought. Always, always keep the residents at the center of every decision that you make, especially the difficult ones. Again, thank you for the opportunity to serve. I'm going to miss everyone here and look forward to great things in the great city of O'Fallon.
Can I say roll tide?
No. But you can say War Eagle.
And the last one is Mr. Kewen. He is out of town for work, and he has asked me to read his statement. My fellow O'Fallon residents, first and foremost, please accept my sincere apologies for not being with you in person tonight, especially as this would have been my final meeting on the dais. Unfortunately, my day job requires me to provide expert witness testimony in trials, and one of those trials is taking place at this very moment. Please know that I'm still very much with you in spirit and will be watching the broadcast from my hotel room. I want to thank each and every one of you for the incredible opportunity to serve this wonderful city 4 times, including my time as your alderman. Serving O'Fallon has truly been an honor, and I'm truly grateful for the trust you placed in me. I also understand that in public service, especially when votes involve strong opinions, there will always be people on both sides of an issue. No matter how a vote turned out, someone will be bound to be disappointed. Throughout my time on the council, I worked hard to objectively present the facts on controversial issues, and just as importantly, to explain my reasoning and perspective behind every vote. Many of you have shared over the years that you appreciated that openness, and to me, that transparency has always been essential. I've always taken seriously the responsibility of representing all of our residents, every one of the nearly 95,000 people who call O'Fallon home. While it may sometimes appear that the City Council can direct development however it wishes, the reality is that we must follow state law and respect the rights of property owners. Those boundaries matter, and honoring them is part of serving ethically and responsibly. Over the past 9 years, I've had the privilege of working on many initiatives, and I'm truly proud of. A few highlights include advocating for helping and passing lower residential density standards to preserve green space and promote responsible growth, voting every single year to lower the city's property tax rate, and pushing for a 25% increase in road funding to speed up critical street maintenance. One of my prouder accomplishments is my role in ensuring the safety of our seniors during the COVID pandemic. Drawing on my background in mechanical engineering and construction, I recognize the risk posed by ozone generating devices proposed for the senior center HVAC system, especially for those with respiratory challenges. Thanks to this expertise, we were able to shift course and install the UV filtration instead, providing a safer and more effective solution for our community and elderly residents. I was also committed to protecting our commercial corridors, voting against nearly all proposals to rezone viable commercial property for apartments, approving only 2 apartment complexes in my entire 9-year tenure. I supported economic development efforts that strengthen our tax base and ease the burden on homeowners, and I proudly stood behind our police department, ensuring our officers remain well-equipped and well-trained so O'Fallon continues to be one of the safest cities in the Midwest. For the past 32 years, O'Fallon has been my home. It's where I built my life, and it's a city I care deeply about. I leave this role proud of the work we've done together and confident that I've served this community with integrity and dedication. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for allowing me the honor of serving you. Councilman Jeff Kewen. Next, we have citizens' comments. Oh, looks like I have one. Mr. Dinoff.
Good evening, members of the City Council. My name is Arnie C. A.C. Dinoff, running for County Executive in August. First of all, I'd like to say congratulations to the new incoming council members and to the outgoing council members. On the appointments of residents to city boards and commissions, are each and every one of them, are they residents? Are they county registered voters? Are they voting and casting ballots in our municipal primaries and general November election? Most of the people on the list I've never seen involved in our city, never seen them at city functions or city council meetings for that matter. So that's concerning. Bill number 7852, I'd ask that you defeat the final plan at Cabela Farms. We will be losing 33 cents on every dollar of income from real estate, personal property tax, utility taxes, and sales taxes. We need to pay for city services, and we need to at least break even. 1/3 of city services, maintenance, and replacement costs will be subsidized on the backs of our current 101,000 city residents. Over $7 million loss to our city. Please think and use your brain for once. It's bad planning, bad public policy, and a terrible financial loss that you would never do in private business. Bill number 7853, defeat the area plan of the villages at Springhurst. It doesn't make sense. The developer doesn't have a good track record. Look at his project over there in the city of Darting and Prairie on Missouri Highway N. We don't want that to come to our city. Let's see here. I'll come back to the next bill. Resolution A is a belt filter press and controls for $483,000. Resolution B is 175 or more parking spaces at the Public Safety Center, a freebie given free of use without any revenue to billionaire Andy Battelle of Cape Girardeau. It just never stops giving away corporate welfare. We will be writing a check from our city finance director every year to Mr. Battelle in the amount of over $225,000. He will be receiving in the agreement free maintenance, free lighting, free snow removal, free. Resolution C, fireworks contract, $204,000. Resolution D, Hoff Road Design Services, supplemental of additional money in the amount of $24,000. Why are we not doing the engineering in-house with our many road engineers already on staff? And finally, bill number 7854, amending the city code, chapter 405.210, street construction projects.
You have 10 seconds.
Must apply to contractors and slab replacement. Let's use 7 inches of concrete, and if there's one deficiency or crack, they need to be removing it at their own cost and on their own dime.
Time's up, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. It brings us to, that's all of citizens' comments I have. Brings us to ward reports, Ward 2.
Well, I don't have anything prepared necessarily, and I'm not one to talk a lot up here, but I do just want to take the time to sincerely thank everybody. City staff, you've been amazing. My fellow council members, past and present. And one of the things that I realized quickly when I became a council member for the first time in 2020 is that I didn't know anything about this role, this world, what was, I had a whole new chapter open up to me, and I learned so much from so many of you. Even if we didn't have a lot of one-on-one conversations, I just absorbed it all of the information that you were sharing, all of the work that you were doing, and it's invaluable. And I'm really thankful for the opportunity, and that's it. I want to thank everybody one more time and wish a sincere congratulations to everybody who's joining the council, and good luck. Take care of each other up here. Thank you.
Thank you. Brian?
There's a train. I want to thank everyone that's up here, the 5 that are rolling off. I have learned a lot from each one of you. Lisa, thank you for everything that you've taught me in this last year. Everyone else, just all the conversations and all of the just getting to know one another. I knew nothing this last year. I know just a little bit more. That's about it. Fire hose is still on. You 5 that are coming in, and the fire hose is on, and it'll slow down a little bit after the first year. But I'm excited to be here with you guys. So welcome aboard.
Thank you. Mr. Cascella.
Thank you, Mayor. kind of the same. I want to thank the outgoing council members, for your time and service to the city. To the new council members come in, this is the reason the city is awesome, because we get new perspectives, new ideas that get to come in. I just ask that we continue working together for the same common goal to keep O'Fallon one of the greatest places to live. So welcome aboard, and super sad to see a lot of you go, and wish you the best. Stay active in the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Taylor, Ward 4.
Hey, thank you. I wanted to begin tonight by thanking those members who will be leaving the council. Public service, I tell you, it's not easy. I mean, it requires lots of hours away from your loved ones, your friends, your careers, and your personal lives. And no matter the outcome, anyone who's willing to step up and serve their community deserves our appreciation. So thank you all for your years of service to the city of O'Fallon. And to the new incoming members of this council, welcome. You're stepping into this role, at a pivotal moment in our city. I think it's important to recognize what just happened in this last election. The voters didn't just choose new faces, they chose a new direction, and that matters. Because this wasn't about personalities, it was about priorities. It was about residents wanting to feel heard, wanting to see a renewed focus on the basics, and wanting thoughtful, responsible decision-making when it comes to growth, our infrastructure, and the future of this city. And we must take that message seriously, not just stepping into these roles, but stepping up to the responsibility that comes with them. It means doing the work, digging into the details, asking for the data, and making sure that we fully understand the long-term impacts of the decisions that are in front of us. Taking the time to evaluate how growth affects our roads, our services, our budget, and our residents, not just today, but years down the line. And it means listening to the concerns and making decisions that truly reflect the voices of the people that sent us here. Because at the end of the day, that's who we work for, the people of this city. And this election made one thing very clear. The people of O'Fallon want change. So moving forward, it can't be business as usual. And starting right now, we have a real opportunity to set a new tone, to rebuild trust, and to move this city forward in a way that reflects those wishes of the community. So I look forward to working with each of you as we take on that responsibility together. Thank you.
Ward 5.
So I know that I gave my prepared statement because anybody that really knows me very well knows that I have to write stuff down, otherwise I get flabbergasted. But one thing that I failed to put in my ward report was saying goodbye to Debbie. She has been such a phenomenal role model as far as being up here on the council and a fantastic ward partner. And while I'm going to miss many people on this council, I'm really going to miss working with Debbie because she has been so much fun to work with, and I thank you for everything you've done for me over the last 3 years, and then some. So that's all. Thank you.
Ms. Cook?
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you. I appreciate that. I've had a lot of partners up here over the years. I don't know if it's me or what's going on, but all of you, I've enjoyed working with everybody that's leaving. It's been, we've done a lot of voting up here, a lot of discussions and things, and so I've enjoyed working with everybody that's leaving. I'm looking forward to the new ones coming in. It's always never a dull moment, so I'm looking forward to that. And I do have just a little bit of business tonight, rather than all the goodbyes. Whiskers and Wags is May 2nd at Civic Park from 10 to 2. They're still accepting donations here at City Hall. There's a barrel in the back. So if you have any dog beds, crates, collars, leashes, food, anything, they would really appreciate that. And then for our seniors, it's the Senior Utility Tax Program time. It starts May 1st and goes through the 29th. Bring all your receipts and things up here to City Hall, and the staff will help you get a rebate. And so don't let that get passed. So other than that, everybody, I wish you all good luck, and I'm looking forward to the new people. Thank you.
Okay. Ward 1.
Yeah, there's just a couple things. I don't got no long goodbyes. I do want to congratulate and welcome the new council members on their wins and all that good stuff. I want to thank the staff. You guys have been great to work with. All we got to do is ask, and you guys usually try to get what we want or need. And council up here now, they're all great. All you got to do is ask them a question. They'll get back with an answer to you. And other than that, I just got a couple things I want to go off of. I want to thank the park guys for getting down to the museum and we had a tree that fell the other day, and it kind of made our yard look a little dirty, so they got down there pretty quick and got it picked up. And on your way to Wags and Tails or whatever, May 2nd, we're going to do a dedication of the historical Sage Cemetery at 10 o'clock on May 2nd on a Saturday. That got turned into a federal historical graveyard, and the city dedicated it to a same thing, historical cemetery. So we're going to actually put the plaques up May 2nd, do a little dedication. Mayor will say some beautiful words for it and all that good stuff. Other than that, you guys, good luck and hope everything works out.
Thank you, John. Oliver?
Thank you, Mayor. Thanks to everybody that's the outgoing council members. You guys have been absolutely fantastic to work with, just like everybody else up here has said. I just want to point out to John, you've been a huge help in this. I know you were basically brand new when I came on, and so we kind of went through this battle together, and I wouldn't want anybody else to go through that with. So thank you for all your help, John.
Mr. Snowden?
Thank you, Mayor. I would direct everyone's attention to the screens as we talk about the first item on my report. As we celebrate Volunteer Appreciation Week, it is my honor to recognize an individual whose dedication and vision have shaped our volunteer efforts for the past 25 years. Kathy Halstead became the Volunteer Services Program Director with no blueprint in place. Kathy worked diligently and thoughtfully to build the program and eventually the entire department. She created the structure, partnerships, and culture that continue to define it today. Through her leadership, the program grew into a vital part of how our city serves residents, and engages the community. Among her many accomplishments, Kathy launched several initiatives that have become longstanding traditions. One of her first pilot programs, the Cornucopia of Care Food Drive, also marked its 25th anniversary last year. This effort has provided consistent support to local families and has become a meaningful way for our employees and volunteers to give back. Kathy's influence extends across every department she touched. She set the standard for how we welcome, support, and appreciate volunteers, and her work has left a lasting impact on the services we provide and the connections we build throughout the community. I also want to recognize the volunteer services staff who continue to carry this work forward with the same dedication and care. While this week shines a spotlight on our volunteers, we know their success is made possible by the team that supports and guides them each day. So on behalf of the city, we offer our deepest appreciation to Kathy Halstead for 25 years of outstanding service and for the legacy of compassion, commitment, and community she leaves behind. Her work will continue to shape our volunteer programs for years to come, and we're grateful for the foundation she has built. So I want to thank Kathy Halstead for her 25 years of service to the city and wish her well in her much-deserved retirement. On behalf of the entire staff, I'd like to take a few moments to thank our outgoing council members as we welcome our new members to take their seats tonight. I want to thank Councilmember Roth for taking on a difficult task after the untimely death of Councilmember Epps in 2025. Mr. Roth always worked hard for his constituents, always gave it his best shot, has been unfailingly pleasant to work with and a genuinely nice guy. I wish him well in his future endeavors. Councilmember Thompson has been a valued member of our council for 6 years and could always be counted on to ask a pertinent question and to boil an issue down to its simplest form. Her business acumen served her well in the role, and she will be missed. I wish her much success in the future. As the second longest serving member of our council going into the election, Councilmember Kuhn gave of his time and talent for 9 years this time around for the betterment of the city. I especially appreciate his last year serving as the President Pro Tem. His wise counsel in that role was very much valued by staff as we worked through the daily issues that Mr. Kuhn was able to help navigate. I wish him nothing but the best moving forward. Councilmember Ragsdale was only with us for 1 term, but she has made a lasting impact by fiercely advocating for her constituents and at the same time helping staff with her opinions and direction. I wish her well in her future work. Again, on behalf of all of the members of Team O'Fallon, thank you to the 4 outgoing council members. We wish them nothing but success in the future. So thank you for your service, and that's all I have for tonight.
Thanks, sir. And there's one last thing, the Quick Trip at Pittman in Maine, it is now open. It opened at 6 o'clock this morning, so if you're driving by and you want to stop, the new Quick Trip at Pittman in Maine is now open. So that brings us to old business, brings us to Bill 7851. Motion for second reading by title only.
Ragsdale.
Motion by Councilwoman Ragsdale. Do I have a second?
Cook.
Second by Councilwoman Cook. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Stephanie?
An ordinance providing for the rezoning of a certain tract of land located at 811 North Main Street, owned by John and Jacqueline Ice from R1 Single Family Residential District to C2 General Business District.
Motion for final passage.
Ragsdale.
Motion by Councilwoman Ragsdale. Second?
Cook.
Second by Councilwoman Cook. Questions or comments? Councilmembers, cast your vote. Still not there.
There you go.
There we go.
The voting's closed.
8 yes. 8 yes, 0 no. 7851 passed, becomes ordinance number
7308.
7308. Thank you, Bess. Brings the bill 7852. Motion for second reading.
Costello.
Motion by Costello, second.
Thompson.
Second by Councilwoman Thompson. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Stephanie?
An ordinance approving a final plan for Cabello Farms with respect thereto, subject to certain conditions and restrictions.
Thank you. Motion for final passage.
Costello.
Motion by Costello, second.
Thompson.
Motion by Councilman Thompson. Questions or comments? Go ahead, Amanda.
I mean, I don't think it's any surprise that I'm not comment on this. I was very much against the annexation, and as it was going to cost our city money, and I thought we should, keep it in St. Charles County. I know this is going to have a lot of problems. I already have a lot of traffic problems out there already, and adding almost 300 new homes right down the street, an extra 500. I mean, this is just going to make it chaotic. But tonight we're voting on the site plan. I mean, that damage is already done. We're voting on the site plan, and I'm going to tell you, yeah, I mean, I'm not happy with that either. I know it's a PUD development, but I definitely feel like they took advantage of that and, piling in all these little tiny lots, the size of the lots spanning, and it didn't even hit me at first, the width of the lots from 40 feet. I told this to someone I knew, these are 40 feet lots they're going to put these houses in. They were like, what are they going to put, sheds? These are supposed to be homes for families, families that can grow in them. And I don't see how these little tiny, houses that are going to cost $400,000 on average, are acceptable for a starter home. So I definitely will be voting no on this one tonight. That's all.
Any other questions? Debbie?
Thank you, Mayor. And I was a no vote on the annexation and the rezoning also. And I agree, these small lots, I've always had an issue with these small lots. And we went over it in workshop today about the fiscal analysis, and our staff even said we're conservative, but yet it still shows we're in the red when it comes to this development. You know, we talked about the commercial, if people are building around K and N, yeah, they're gonna shop along N and K, and we're gonna get the tax revenue, but, you know, out off of N, we're not gonna get that. They're gonna go to Lake St. Louis and Wentzville, so, and I have an issue with the size lots. I would love to see this go back to P and Z. I mean, Darting Prairie just set a precedent. Sent it back to P and Z and said, bring it back with larger lots. You know, this is what we want, this is what people want. So, again, I will be a no. Thank you.
Anybody else? Stephanie, this is the final plan. As long as they meet the code and ordinances, we have to legally approve it.
Yes, with a planned unit development, it comes in for the rezoning, and there is an associated plan that goes with that, and the zoning then is based on the plan. Once they do some more work, when they come back for a final plan, the ordinance provides that it shall be approved as long as it complies substantially with only very minor variations, as long as it complies substantially with the initial plan that was approved.
And the consequences if we don't approve this is what?
You could potentially then be challenged, your decision could be challenged because it complies with ordinance, it complies with the initial plan that was approved, and there's really no discretion in not approving it.
Thank you. All right. Done?
Well, can I talk?
Go ahead.
Okay. So then how did Darting Prairie, I mean, they sent it back to P&Z. I mean, that's an option for us too, send it back to P&Z and they came back with bigger lot sizes.
That would have been done on the initial plan when it was initially brought before P&Z and the city council. So at that point in time, there could have been remand back to the Planning and Zoning Commission. There could have been further negotiations with the developer. The area plan actually then for the planned unit development could have been, or for the planned development, it could have been rejected, and then they would have had to come back to us. But at this stage, the initial plan has already been approved, and so this is just the final plan being brought forward.
So the initial plan came to city council, that was approved by P&Z and didn't come here.
The rezoning came to us.
The rezoning came to us, but
plan.
not the initial plan.
A rezoning to plan development, though, is tied to the plan.
We also had the area plan was approved by the council. We had the rezoning in the area plan.
Correct.
With the area plan, yes. Because you can't have the rezoning without a plan for plan development.
Okay, anybody else? Cast your vote.
The voting's closed.
One, two, three, four, five. We need 6. That's right. So good luck in court, folks. Five, 3. No. 7852 fails. Good luck in court, guys. You can spell 7853. What's your first, second reading?
Cascella.
Let's put Cascella second.
Thompson.
Second by Councilman Thompson. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Stephanie?
An ordinance approving an area plan for the villages at Springhurst with respect thereto, subject to certain conditions and requirements.
Thank you. Most final passage?
Cascella.
Let's put Cascella second.
Thompson.
Second by Councilman Thompson. Questions, comments? Cast your vote.
The voting's closed.
8 yes, 0 no. 7853 passed, becomes ordinance number
7310.
7310. Thank you, Bess. 7854, motion for second reading.
Boyer.
Motion by Councilman Boyer, second.
Wexler.
Second by Councilman Wexler. All in favor? Any opposed? Stephanie?
An ordinance amending Section 405.210 of the O'Fallon City Code regarding development standards and street construction requirements.
Thank you. Most final passage.
Boyer.
Councilman Boyer, second.
Wexler.
Second by Councilman Wexler. Questions? Cast your vote.
The voting's closed.
8 yes, 0 no. 7854 passes and becomes ordinance number
7311.
7311. Brings us, we have a motion to accept the 2026 general municipal election results.
Wexler.
Motion by Councilman Wexler. Do I have a second?
Boyer.
Second by Councilman Boyer. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. Do I have a motion to adjourn, sign, die?
Yeah, I'll let you know here in a minute. So hold your Bible.
Okay.
Wait till they. Ready?
Hey, folks, can we have some silence, please? Thank you.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Scott Wilcox,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I possess all the qualifications
that I possess all the qualifications
for the position of council member
for the position of council member
as prescribed by law,
as prescribed by law,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Missouri,
and the Constitution of the State of Missouri,
the provisions of all laws of this state
the provisions of all laws of the state
affecting charter cities,
affecting charter cities,
and the ordinances of the City of O'Fallon,
and the ordinances of the City of O'Fallon,
and faithfully demean myself
and faithfully demean myself
in the office of council member Ward 1,
in the office of council member, Ward 1,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Welcome aboard, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. I want to thank everyone for this opportunity. I'm profoundly grateful and humbled for the trust you've placed in me. I love our city of O'Fallon and our community. I want to work together with my fellow council members and our administration to make our city even better. I'll work every day to earn your trust and represent every voice in this community. I promise to lead with integrity and listen with humility and to act with purpose. I will always strive to be the best that I can be and look forward to serving this community for the next 3 years. Thank you.
Now, you guys have made it tough on me. Now I got two Scots. So when I say Scott, you're both going to have to pay attention.
There's my
There you go.
Okay. Okay. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Scott Yates,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I possess all the qualifications
that I possess all the qualifications
for the position of council member
for the position of council member
as prescribed by law,
as prescribed by law,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Missouri,
and the Constitution of the State of Missouri,
the provisions of all laws of this state
the provisions of all laws of this state
affecting charter cities,
affecting charter cities,
and the ordinances of the City of O'Fallon,
and the ordinances of the City of O'Fallon,
and faithfully demean myself
and faithfully demean myself
in the office of council member Ward 2,
in the office of council member Ward 2.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
All right. I just want to say thanks to the good Lord, thanks to my family, my friends, my relatives, people of Ward 2, citizens of O'Fallon. I plan to do right by you, move the city in the right direction. I look forward to working with our council members and the people of O'Fallon. Thank you.
Doug?
Raise Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Doug Link,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I possess all the qualifications
that I possess all the qualifications
for the position of council member
for the position of council member
as prescribed by law,
as prescribed by law,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Missouri,
and the Constitution of the State of Missouri,
the provisions of all laws of this state
the provisions of all laws of the state
affecting charter cities,
affecting charter cities,
and the ordinances of the City of O'Fallon,
and the ordinances of the City of O'Fallon,
and faithfully demean myself
and faithfully demean myself
in the office of Council Member Ward 3.
in the office of council member Ward 3.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. So I'll be very quick here. Just want to thank my family, friends, and neighbors who all supported me throughout my campaign. I look forward to serving the residents of O'Fallon and working with my fellow council members. Thank you.
Corey?
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Corey Spencer,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I possess all the qualifications
that I possess all of the qualifications
for the position of council member
for the position of council member
as prescribed by law,
as prescribed by law,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Missouri,
and the Constitution of the State of Missouri,
the provisions of all laws of this state
the provisions of all laws of the state
affecting charter cities,
affecting charter cities,
and the ordinances of the City of O'Fallon,
and the ordinances of the City of O'Fallon,
and faithfully demean myself
and faithfully demean myself
in the office of council member Ward 4.
in the office of council member Ward 4.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you. That's upside down. I'll keep it brief. Thank you to the voters of Ward 4 for believing in me and trusting me with this responsibility. I am truly honored by your support. To my family, thank you for standing by me every step of the way. Your encouragement and strength made this possible, and I couldn't have done it without you. While I am proud to represent Ward 4, I want to be clear that I will work for the entire City of O'Fallon. Every voice matters, and every resident deserves to feel heard. You have set the expectation that your voices will not be ignored, and I intend to deliver on my promise to listen. I am committed to being accessible, to hearing your concerns, and to working together to move our community forward. Thank you again.
You can borrow one if you want. Are you sure? Yeah. Okay. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, John Palmer,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I possess all the qualifications
that I possess all the qualifications
for the position of council member
for the position of council member
as prescribed by law,
as prescribed by law,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Missouri,
and the Constitution of the State of Missouri,
the provisions of all laws of this state
the provisions of all laws of this state
affecting charter cities,
affecting charter cities,
and the ordinances of the City of O'Fallon,
and the ordinances of the City of O'Fallon,
and faithfully demean myself
and faithfully demean myself
in the office of council member Ward 5.
in the office of council member Ward 5.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I just want to say thank you to the members of Ward 5. Thank you to Linda. Definitely reminded that every vote matters, and I commit to doing my best in this job. To my fellow council members, we're not going to agree on everything, and to those that I represent, we're not going to agree on everything. But what I hope that you learn is that I will be transparent in my discussion, in my decisions. I'm happy to discuss them with you, and that I'm doing my best with the resources that I have. I have to express thanks to my wife and my family who's watching. I couldn't have done this without them, so thank you.
All right, we're going to take about a 10-minute break. There is cupcakes and water out there, so we'll get pictures and stuff. So if you want cupcakes and water, it's right outside. Don't forget to hit your microphones when you talk. I call to order the new council. Roll call, Bess.
Mayor Hennessy.
Present.
Councilmember Wexler.
Present.
Councilmember Wilcox.
Present.
Councilmember Boyer.
Present.
Councilmember Yates. Councilmember Cascella.
Present.
Councilmember Link.
Present.
Councilmember Taylor.
Present.
Councilmember Spencer.
Present.
Councilmember Cook.
Present.
Councilmember Palmer.
Present.
Thank you. Presiding officer's report, I'd like to have a motion to ratify my appointments for the Board of Adjustment, Cultural Arts, Historic, Preservation, following Convention and Visitors Bureau, Parks and Rec, Planning and Zoning, Public Works, and Senior Advisory.
So moved, Cascella.
Second, Wexler.
Motion by Councilman Casella, second by Wexler. Questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Next, I'd like to have a motion to ratify my appointments for the City Council liaisons.
So move, Wexler.
Taylor.
Motion by Councilman Wexler, second by Councilwoman Taylor. Questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Open up the floor for nominations for President Pro Tem. Mr. Cascella.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to nominate Debbie Cook for President Pro Tem.
Nomination by Cook,
I will second.
seconded by Taylor. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any other nominations? Motion to close nominations?
Cascella.
Cascella, second.
Taylor.
Second by Councilman Taylor. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Congratulations, Debbie. Questions and comments on the committee and commission reports? Seeing none, we stand as read. Questions or comments on the consent calendar? Go ahead.
This liquor license, is it to a nail salon? Really?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. I was just shocked by that. And would they give like mimosas to get my nails done? Oh, I'm gonna be there. Okay, thanks.
Any other questions? Motion to approve?
Link.
Was that Mr. Link? Motion by Councilman Link. Do I have a second?
Boyer.
Second by Councilman Boyer. Council members, cast your vote. The vote is closed. 10 yes, 0 no. Consent calendar has been approved. Brings us to new business. Brings to Bill 7856. Motion for first reading.
Cascella.
Motion by Cascella, second.
Second, Link.
Is that Mr. Link?
Yes.
Mr. Cascella, please present the bill.
Bill number 7856, an ordinance authorizing an intergovernmental, man, I should have pre-read this, intergovernmental memorandum of understanding between the City of O'Fallon, Missouri on behalf of its police department and the City of St. Charles, Missouri on behalf of its police department to authorize the O'Fallon Real-Time Information Center, ARTIC, to program designated police department radio channels within the ARTIC to support real-time situational awareness, operations coordination, and officer safety.
Thank you. Brings Bill 7857. Motion for first reading.
Wexler.
Motion by Councilman Wexler, second.
Spencer.
Second by Councilwoman Spencer. Councilman Wexler, please present the bill.
Bill number 7857, an ordinance approving the plans for West Terra Lane realignment, CMAQ 5401727 project, declaring the project to be necessary and appropriate, authorizing acquisition of property in association therewith, and authorizing certain other actions.
Thank you. Questions and comments on Resolution 423, 2026D? Seeing none, motion second to introduce.
Boyer.
Motion by Councilman Boyer, second.
Wexler.
Second by Councilman Wexler. All in favor? Aye. All in favor?
Aye.
Here we go. Stephanie?
A resolution authorizing an agreement with H.R. Green Incorporated, providing for supplemental design services as part of the Hoff Road Phase 2 project in an amount not to exceed $41,258.45.
Thank you. Motion second to approve.
Boyer.
Motion by Councilman Boyer, second.
Wexler.
Second by Councilman Wexler. Councilman, cast your vote.
The voting's closed.
10 yes, 0 no. Resolution D has been approved. No further business. This meeting is adjourned at 8:51.